Hello and welcome to the English A Language and Literature, Paper 1. My name is Dom and I'm going to be your tutor for this course. What we're going to look at first for the Paper 1 course is the rubric. Obviously, it's important to know how you're going to score a really high grade, how you're going to score high marks. And the way that you do that is to find out exactly what the examiners are looking for from your Paper 1 analysis essay. SL students, it's going to be marked out of 20. You only have to choose one text from the two. You get a guiding question, which is great. HL students, you have to do both of the texts. But the good news is it's not compare and contrast. They're two separate analytical essays that you're writing. So it's 2 times 20 points using the same rubric. But obviously the standard is expected to be a little bit better. But you've got basically double the time to write the two texts. So the first part, which is part A, you're looking at understanding and interpretation of the text. So how well do you understand what what the author has tried to do with the text? Not just the literal meaning, but the kind of hidden meanings as well, like under the surface meanings. How does the author hint or try to show their ideation? How do they get the reader to do something or to understand something or to think a certain way? That's really what you want to be showing. But you have to do this by giving examples from the text, and you have to be very specific. You can't just give so many examples. You have to choose the ones that best prove your argument, okay? Criteria B is analysis and evaluation. So to what extent do you, the student, analyze and evaluate the textual features and the choices that the author makes in shaping or attempting to shape the meaning taken from the reader? So we're going to just skip to 5 marks. You don't want to bother with 0 marks because you're not going to score 0, I promise you. So the response demonstrates an insightful and convincing analysis of textual features and or authorial choices. There's a very good evaluation of how such features and or choices shape meaning. So this meaning is obviously interpreted by the reader. So how does the different features of the text that the author has chosen, how do they shape the meaning taken by the reader? What kind of text features have been chosen? What have been left out? And what effect does this have? You could look at a range of different things for this. Even things like structure. Why has it been structured in that particular way? How does that shape the meaning that is taken from the reader? Criteria C is all about your focus, what you focus on, and the organization of your points. So think of this as in what order do you put your paragraphs in? Do you use the Peel method or something similar when you're writing about something that you find particularly interesting or that shows the writer's intention? So effectively, it's about how you structure your essay. How is your introduction phrased? Does it include, for example, a thesis statement? Have you covered what the text type is? What points do you include in your essay? So what do you focus on? Are you focusing on the correct things like purpose, or are you just merely describing what happens? Are you analyzing properly? If you're analyzing, what are you saying are the implications? What does that change in the reader, or what effect does it have with the reader? So all of these things are very important. You should be looking for a flow in your essay. And throughout this course, we actually discuss ways that you can do that. There are basically 2 or 3 pretty good ways. One of them I favor more than others, how to structure your essay so that it flows in a very kind of logical way that allows you to also uncover literary devices or any other kind of way that helps the author convey their meaning. So it's super important that you practice this to get a hang of how to organize, because you don't have a lot of time for this essay. And the final criterion is criterion D, all about language. So for language, first of all, try and avoid first person. Try and remember not to put contractions such as can't, don't, won't. Write out the full words, okay? The correct register just means that it's a formal essay. Be clear, don't use slang terms. Make sure that you're using correct grammar, you're putting in the correct articles such as the before certain nouns. It doesn't just mean your vocabulary needs to be very varied and dynamic. That obviously is something you do need to try for. But first of all, make sure that your register is good. Your tone as well. You should be trying to be clarifying points that you make. You shouldn't be making assumptions, for example. You have to back up everything that you say. This all falls into language. Grammar. It's super important. If you make the same mistake 2 or 3 times, then you're likely to be punished for it. Vocabulary, of course, like I mentioned, you want to vary your vocabulary, show off your range of vocabulary, but don't waste so much time over one word. I've seen students before mull over for about 5 minutes over the phrasing of something. Write it in simple terms. You can go back later, score it out, and write it in a more complex manner. Time is not your friend for this essay. It's a real challenge to be able to write an excellent essay in the time that they provide you. That's why they do it, because only the top students or the ones that have practiced a lot will get the level 7. And hopefully with help from this course, you will be one of those students. But obviously, no promises are made. With the information you receive from this course, you'll be in a much better position though to score a 6 or a 7.